In 2023, I attended a Formula One screening. At that time, I met a host who was charming, confident, and extremely honest about the sport. Little did I know that 2 years later, I'll have the privilege to call him a friend and talk to him about all sports that he's a part of.
Me?
Of course, you.
What are you saying?
Thank you so much, Soumil, for coming today. I know you're a very busy man doing 10,000 things together, but thank you for making here.
No, I had to. Thank you. I mean, it's been so much fun sharing the stage with you on Fan Code's podcast.
Yeah.
Now we're on your show. So it's even more fun. Now we can be a little bit more free.
Yeah.
Not that we're not free there. That's also a very fun show. Watch that whenever you can. She's there on most of the episodes. But yeah, this is different. This is more of your home.
You haven't recognized the voice yet. He is the F1 Hindi commentator on Fan Code. He talks about MotoGP on Eurosport. He also just wrapped up a rugby tournament that he was commentating on. And he also has his own podcast, Inside Line.
Yes.
So my first question is, how much do you sleep?
Well, a lot actually.
Surprisingly
a lot. So I'm the kind of person who's either on or off. There's no middle gear. So it's 8th gear or nothing. Dark circles, can you see? They've kind of gone. I've been sleeping well recently.
Yeah.
My mom will be very happy. Yeah.
But how? Because I don't even work that much and I struggle to sleep.
I think a big part of it is learning to zone out, which is what my friends have been teaching me a lot. Because when you're as passionate about something, you're always thinking of the next thing, right? And when you're an artist, you're thinking of, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. I can do this. I can do that. That idea, this idea. But then there's also an art to zoning out because the brain can only take so much.
Right.
You've got to release the throttle for you to change the gear.
I want to know, how did you get into sports in general and when did you realize that this is what you want to do in a country like India, which is dominated by cricket?
Well, I was young enough to not care about it, which is the best part. Because I was only 4 or 5 when it was set in stone that I have to be a commentator. I learned.
You realized that early?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, you do something and you realize, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
And there's a thought in your brain that says, I don't want to stop doing it.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I got lucky. I got very lucky because I was born into a household where we had financial stability and my dad also enjoyed Formula One.
Yeah.
And he was someone who wanted me to pursue my passions a lot. And then my mom was there to support me in every step of the way for it.
Nice.
Because obviously, there's a bit of insecurity, right? A bit of anxiousness that, is this a secure career path? Can you make enough money? Is there enough space in the market? And these are valid questions to ask because cricket is the be-all and end-all of all sports.
Exactly.
Motorsport is still emerging in that regard. And naturally, there were those discussions within our family too. But they've been so supportive. And in my head, it was always clear that I have fun when I have a microphone and I get to talk about sports.
Yeah.
So why not do it?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, this is when he feels happy, this is when he feels calm, and this is when he feels secure about himself. Let's just carry on with that path. Let's see where that takes us. In fact, very fun story. I'll be saying this on camera for the first time. But back in 2010 or 11, when I was like 7 or 8, my dad messaged this marketing manager at Force India that my son wants to become a Formula One commentator. That guy, very kind, he didn't even have to take out his time. He said, just get him to write. That'll be a good starting point. And so I did write a few years later. 5 years after that, I met that same marketing manager at a random Formula One screening in Mumbai. Love the screening culture here, by the way. Love it. We met over there. Turns out that was the same person. That was Kunal. And he didn't realize that this same kid that he encouraged to write back in the day is now with him hosting a screening.
Oh my God.
And that's how the Inside Line F1 podcast got another host back in 2020.
Wow.
But this happened in 2017. We later started to work more often and then 2020 is when it became properly official. But I've just had a good set of people with me encouraging me all the time. My dad, Kunal, Dilbag Gill, team principal of Mahindra Formula E.
But you also started with WWE, right? At that time, I think it was WWF.
No. So I mean, my life has revolved around pro wrestling a lot. The first gig with Sony was WWE.
And how old were you at that time?
I mean, it just happened last year, so I was 20. Yeah.
When I met you for the first time, I saw this well-groomed man and I'm like, he's definitely 27, 28, so cute.
I must have been 18 at that time.
What the hell, dude? Like at 18, I was probably like just waiting for my 10th or 12th standard result and being like, dekhte hai fir kya karna.
I'm lucky.
Yeah,
I'm very lucky. My teachers in school, my parents, my mentors, everybody has just pushed me in that direction. Where beyond the point, it's just like, if I don't do this, what else will I do?
Yeah.
So that's just been the case.
Did you study like sports journalism?
No.
Or what?
I mean, I didn't study at all, really. I didn't study after grade 10, realistically.
Oh.
I mean, I gave my A levels. It's not that I was free at home. I was still studying.
But you were doing a lot of stuff on the side. Yeah.
Again, brave family call.
Yeah.
We didn't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I could well have gone to a normal college in grade 11 and gone to a normal school, but they were like, if he's doing stuff, why not create a platform where he can do more stuff?
Sure.
So I was homeschooled in grade 11 and 12. And that is a very pivotal moment because that allowed me to attend the national championships for racing for the first time without any burden. And that is what kickstarted everything.
I think even I was lucky enough to have an environment where they supported my passion over what the society expects you to do. And I think it's very important when your family supports
because उन्होंने भी दुनिया देखी है ना यार. Ultimately, we all know it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's more about application. What do you do on ground? What are you learning? What kind of people are you interacting with? And touch wood, we've been lucky in that regard that we have a really good set of parents that way.
Sure, yeah. When you're working inside the sport, how is the sport industry? Is it cutthroat or is it not given that much value? What do you think?
It's just like any other industry, honestly. There's nothing special about it apart from the fact that you're very close to your passion. And that's one thing that stands out. Cutthroat to yaar har jagah hota hai, that's just the way it is. You perform or perish. But the thing I've realized about sports broadcasting, and this is very small insight because I've only spent like 3 years here, so that's not a lot of time. You need to be reliable, firstly. Like in any industry, right? If you're an actor, even if you're not the most glamorous or charming or the biggest draw, if you're consistently reliable, you become easy to work with. And if you're easy to work with, people will want to work with you more often.
Sure.
And that's the same thing you sort of notice in sports broadcasting. To be reliable, to be good, to hit the check boxes every time, to have a good process, to make sure you're covering the right stories, to make sure you know what the fans want to know and make sure that you can bring it out. These sort of things, largely. And for me, ultimately, that's the aim. Can I be as reliable as possible across multiple sports?
So I'm going to talk about like every sport that you're a part of. And we'll talk about basically how you think it is doing in India right now, in the past, and what you think could be the future. So starting with rugby.
Rugby is amazing. If you can, and if you don't mind the physicality of it, which I know a lot of you won't, you need to get into rugby. If not playing, watching. Oh my God, what a sport it is.
But wasn't it the first tournament in India?
Yeah, the first ever. Yeah. The first ever franchise-based league in all of the world. The Rugby Premier League. It happened in India. And the best players from across the globe, people who have represented their countries at a world level, were in India playing with our Indian stars, and our Indian players did do very well.
Really?
They really did. Like, okay, sure, they weren't deciding tournaments, but they had such an essential contribution to the success of their team that they were valuable and they were memorable. Like, one player stands out, Javed Hussain, if you're watching, Javed Bhai, amazing tournament. He had so many tries. He became the best emerging player, the best young player, and was one of the pivotal reasons why his team actually reached a semi-final and won 9 out of their 10 matches. Because an Indian player was converting tries. He was the missing link. The one match where he wasn't there, they lost. So
what? That is massive.
Exactly.
Because I saw your stories and posts and I'm like, wow, man, like I've seen rugby only in movies, never really followed it. But I think next year I will.
You need to.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Firstly, games are short. They're fast, they're physical. And every single time someone tackles you, like, that hurt. But then the person steps back up and they're there running back again for their team. So it makes you wonder sometimes, hey, aadmi theek hai? Like, is their mind in the right place? But they're genuinely so determined and so humble. They'll have the power to crush your hand with a handshake, but they'll still be the nicest person in the entire room. They'll listen to your stories, they'll tell their stories, they'll have empathy and respect. Because the first rule that every rugby player is taught is respect. Respect the game or don't play at all. Like if you look at a rugby 15s team, there'll be someone who's extremely big in size and extremely thin and lanky too. Because everyone has a different role in the team. And they all work together, literally this because that's a scrum. They all work together to make sure the team is able to convert a try. So It's a very great sport. Very great for inclusivity.
Right. So do you think like rugby actually has a future if given the amount of attention it deserves?
Yes. It's not an easy path.
Yeah.
Because we're all vying for attention, and nowadays you and I both know where attention's going for a lot of people, and then to bring it down to a sport that people have not seen is a tough task.
Right.
But from what I've seen, all my friends who attended the games attended more than one. Because once they saw it once, they were like, I need to see this again.
Yeah.
And so they came back again.
So next year I'm going to come as
You
well.
need to.
Yeah, I will definitely.
I need to make sure you meet some of the players.
I will
You'll be
definitely.
amazed at how relaxed they are.
We have obviously witnessed Sinner and Alcaraz this season
Yes.
4 times. What do you think about tennis as a sport in general? Because I know that he watches tennis. You enjoy tennis.
We've spoken about
we've
tennis
spoken
a bit.
about
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Alcaraz is unbelievable. He's like Nadal evolved.
Yeah.
And I
Also,
find that to be very interesting.
Yeah, very cool. Also, like his dressing sense is very Nadal, and like the way he is.
It's like a bot. He looked like a bot in the US Open in a good way.
Yeah.
Because he looks
Loved it.
menacing.
Yeah.
The bald hair, the guns on the side.
Yeah.
What an athlete.
Yeah, but I remember that once when I was struggling to make content on tennis, you told me that tennis is more about players, athlete stories and not about the game that much. Why do you think that people are more towards Yannick because of his family background, or is it Alcaraz because he's from Spain and he comes from that culture?
You see different types of individuals there. Federer, for instance, would be full of flair. You can see him playing his shots with grace. Nadal, on the other hand, the intensity, the way he runs, the way he chases everything, the sounds he makes when he hits the ball, you feel this guy is mental.
Yeah.
And Djokovic, about how precise he is.
Yeah.
You notice these characters and you see one small element of their life, just how they play tennis. And that tells you so much about who they are.
Right.
And that's when you start to connect with them a lot more. Right. Like, you might go into the depths of at what angle are they serving or what proportion of their drop shots are successful. Sure, you can do that. And I would. I would, because I love that. But ultimately what people connect with a lot more is what kind of person are they on the playing field.
Right.
Like Max. We love Max because he's nonchalant. He's aggressive when he has to be, and he's so confident about his abilities.
He is.
This transcends beyond who his dad was, or who his mum was, or where he came from, or how good he was in his first karting season, or whatever. Those are surrounding details. What you notice first is the personality.
Yeah.
And when we're broadcasting, that's the first thing that our producers will always tell us. Tell the story of the game. Tell the story of the team, of the personalities, of the people. What are they like? What do the fans notice? What do they see? What do they connect with? And that's why tennis is all about that.
Are you an Alcaraz or a Sinner fan?
Oh, I just love a good power hitter. I love a good power hitter. You've got to respect what kind of a freak of nature Alcaraz is. He's unbelievable.
Yeah. I think with time I've become a Sinner fan now, but I was introduced to loving Alcaraz because he was the hype.
Yeah.
Our favorite, Max Verstappen.
Love him. What a guy.
Also, thank you, Fan Code, for being kind enough to giving it to me. Fun story. I said that in another podcast, so I won't waste your time saying it again, and you know about it.
Yeah, I do know about it. Did they give it to you, or did you steal him away?
So I told them, I'm like, you know what, I love Max so much, it would be great to have him. And I made
So
like
you
the
stole
cutest
it.
face, and they were like, okay, we have one, we can give it. I'm like, thanks.
I think March 2026 will be the most amazing time to be a Formula One fan.
Yeah.
The most amazing time, because when you see the cars on track for the first time, you will get every single story answered.
Yeah.
And then a whole heap of stories will open after that.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be so much fun.
Who is your all-time favorite Formula One driver?
Jenson Button.
Oh, really?
Personality-wise.
Okay.
Personality-wise, Jenson Button. On the track, I'm starting to become more of a Michael Schumacher fan nowadays.
Oh, yeah? Nowadays?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So, as a kid, Michael was always the great.
Yeah.
But then you hear stories of 97, of 94, and then you're like, do I like the guy as much or not? Because those acts can be doubtable. But then you start to think of what Michael stands for. And when you get into your own journey of discovering excellence and working with people and trying to be the best at your own passion, and you start to realize just how incredible Michael Schumacher was.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, if I can be an ounce of what this guy was in his life,
Yeah. I know
you'll
that
get so
feeling.
far.
I know.
So, yeah, Michael.
Today I have I got you something. which is Michael
a
Schumacher.
Michael Schumacher poster. And it's got the line we discussed earlier on the show. When something is a passion, exactly. When something is a passion, the motivation is there.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. You know, Michael's my dad's favorite driver too.
Oh wow.
We have a frame as big as Max at our home.
What?
It's a flag of Michael. He signed it. It says Michael Schumacher, Formula 1 World Champion 7 times. Michael is,
yeah. Got it from this brand called Quote Unquote that basically makes tennis and Formula 1 posters, and they were kind enough to send one for you.
very cool stuff, guys.
Yeah.
This is quite a piece. You've got the colors spot on.
Yeah.
Love that, man.
Lastly, talking about MotoGP.
Yes.
This season has been pretty, I wouldn't say boring, but monotonous, like the 2023 Formula 1 season probably.
Yeah?
No?
No?
I don't know, you tell me.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Why do you feel so?
Because I feel Marc Marquez is literally killing it. I mean, like, he's winning every
But he
race.
lost the last race at the time of this recording.
That happens like once in 10 races. Come on.
Yeah, he
One
went
loss
3
is-
months without dropping a point.
Yeah. Ducati's already world champion.
Yeah. I kind of feel conflicted about this whole scenario of MotoGP. On one end, I really love to see greats winning in different ways, which is what Mark has been doing recently. He's been winning in different circumstances. Sometimes he starts at the front of the grid, sometimes less so. Sometimes he'll have a dominating start, sometimes he'll fall back. Sometimes he'll have to relinquish a position because of tire pressure issues, but he'll still win.
Yeah.
And that is so fascinating. Just greatness,
Yeah.
just witnessing greatness is
Yeah.
very entertaining. But I also get you. Like,
Yeah.
more winners would be nice, more manufacturers would be nice, less aero so that the riders can follow each other would be very nice as well. Yeah, it's a little sad. But then when you've got to make a choice between F1 and MotoGP in terms of a more entertaining product, I think MotoGP still does get that base covered. So,
Now that Liberty Media has acquired MotoGP, do you think it's going to change the way Formula 1 boomed after Drive to Survive?
it must.
Yeah.
It must, because I refuse to believe that MotoGP can be less popular than Formula 1.
Sure.
I'll hold my hand up, the races are more entertaining than any
Yeah.
Formula 1 race.
Yeah.
You have to admit it. You have to admit it.
Yeah.
It's just more dramatic.
Yeah.
How easy is it to sell the idea of gladiators on a motorbike with the danger of falling at any given point, riding at 300, sometimes 350 kph,
Yeah.
leaning their shoulder down on the
Yeah,
ground,
yeah.
rubbing each other on the track consistently, with the biggest brands in the world competing like Ducati, KTM, Aprilia, Honda, Yamaha. It's so easy to sell.
Yeah.
It's so easy to sell. I think Liberty will do a good job with it.
I hope so, because I have started watching MotoGP. Last year I watched, and this season I've been following, and it is very interesting. And
Very.
I think it should be in every household. Like now we're watching Formula 1.
Yeah.
It's big.
And the nuances are there too.
Yeah.
Because if you look at MotoGP and just say, इसे bike racing कर रही है, उसमें और क्या है? Is there some strategy? Is there some mechanical work? Is there aero? Is there engineering? There's a lot. Like Ducati literally have a 3D printing truck in European races, sitting behind their pit garage, printing aero parts. Imagine, that's the level they're operating at. So every week, you're reading new insights about how one team has tweaked their electronics to extract maximum performance, or how Marc Marquez is able to maximize his braking so that he's able to keep both wheels on the ground and not do a stoppie.
Right.
And you're like, how the hell does this guy do it?
Yeah.
And more than Formula 1, you can see the technique in MotoGP because you can see the rider, you can see what they're doing,
Yeah.
you can see how they're riding their bike, or if they're making the rear end of the bike step out more than the others. And you can be like, that's motocross riding, or that's flat tracking that's coming into play.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack in MotoGP. It's not just bikes going around and around in circles. I mean, there's something for the casuals and something for the nerds too.
Yeah.
And the stories are entertaining. Like, imagine a 2-time world champion who's been fighting for the world championship for 3 years in a row in his own team gets absolutely thwarted by a new rider that comes in. Sure, he's the greatest. Mark is the greatest. But imagine what Pecco Bagnaia is feeling.
Yeah.
3 times in a row he's fighting for the world championship, won 2 of them, and now suddenly he's qualifying 21st.
Yeah.
Isn't that a crazy story?
It is. What goes in your mind when you are commentating?
Nothing.
Because there are 10,000 things going
Nothing.
on. Nothing?
Nothing.
And do you like feel scared? What if I just say something that does not make sense? Or like because it's live.
Well, you could have that fear, and I could try to gain sympathy by saying, oh, it's a very high pressure job. No. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Like, you can't get into a race car thinking, oh, I might die.
Yeah,
You just
of
drive the race
course.
car because you
Yeah.
want to drive the race car,
Yeah.
and that's what it is with
Yeah.
commentary. You're just so in tune. There's so much to say
Yeah.
that your mind is constantly rushing.
Yeah.
Like in the race, I have one timing screen, one research screen where I can just look at all the documents, data, and everything, my notes. One feed that shows me the screen, like what's happening on track, and where I can communicate with my commentator. A WhatsApp screen where I can also have some emergencies communicated. Another tablet that shows me the live monitor for where the cars are on the circuit. So when there's an undercut and overcut, you can tell exactly who's going to come out where. A track map framed in front. Usually you don't need it because you know the circuit so well. But let's say a place like, you go to a special place with special corners, you sometimes have to remember the names or sometimes corner numbers. Like imagine if you're going to a Miami, who knows what turn 12 is?
Yeah.
Like if the driver says I'm at turn 12, what the hell is a turn 12?
Yeah.
Let me see where that is. And you might have another screen open for some research.
Yeah.
So AI is a great tool sometimes. Like if you want to calculate some quick math, like permutations, combinations, so usually around 5 to 6
5 to
screens.
6.
Yeah.
But then you're like, throughout that 1.5, 2 hours of race, you're talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
How are you managing looking at 6 screens? And if like, imagine like something crazy happens.
I mean, that's the challenge of it,
Yeah.
because on the surface it might seem like the commentator just has to say or talk about what's happening on screen. But in a sport like Formula One, you're also looking at live timing.
Yeah.
Has Franco overcut Carlos?
Yeah.
What's the gap? You're calculating the delta. What's the pit stop timing? What if he does 0.5 a second lap faster? What pace does he need to go at to make sure he can jump in? Da-da-da-da-da, for 4 battles at a time. Then you're also thinking, is there a story to tell here?
Yeah.
Like, has a Williams driver ever overcut a McLaren driver like this in the past at this circuit? So then you start to think about it, like, has David Coulthard does something? And then you start to rack your memory. Then at the same time, you're also communicating with other people. So, for instance, I'm always on WhatsApp with Kunal, my mentor, because he's doing what I do for the fan code Hindi broadcast and also for the Norwegian broadcast. So we're always discussing points like, did you notice this? Did you see that? Did you check that out? Then also the live timing page. There's enough. But the skill is in articulating your thoughts at the right time with the right energy in the right way while not being grammatically incorrect at the right moment.
Also your
Which is-
dialect. Because sometimes you're like, if you're talking, you're like, fuck, this happened. You can't do that, right?
You can't. You can, I mean, you've got to be conscious.
Yeah.
And my mom is always scared about that
Yeah,
because
I am scared for you, man.
yeah, I can swear a lot in my personal life, which is it's a preference, but
Yeah, but
you,
I mean,
you
like,
need to be conscious that it doesn't leak.
yeah. So, if someone who wants to get into broadcasting, what is the ideal path of getting into it?
Just start. Just commentate. And nowadays it's very easy. You've got reels, people are watching. If you can get people's attention by doing mock commentary, good idea. Might be a good start point. Broadcast companies will value experience, they will value reliability, and they will value knowledge and passion. So you've got to exhibit that in multiple occasions.
When it comes to mentorship, you spoke about Kunal a couple of times.
Big time.
Right. What kind of mentorship from him has basically made you who you are today? Like, what are you
Everything.
doing? Yeah.
Everything. Just the way you think, how decisive you have to be, how shameless you have to be at times. The best piece of advice he says is let the other person say no. Being limitless.
You know what? As you know, I never had a show. I was not doing this. I was making very different kind of content.
Yeah.
One day I talked to Kunal on my Instagram.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And he's like, why don't you interview Atika? And I'm like, sure. That was my first interview and today I'm sitting with you.
Oh, yeah, Atika is also incredible. But see, that's the kind of perspective he'll often provide. And that's what I also want to inculcate in myself.
Yeah.
Finding opportunities,
Yeah.
pushing people in the right direction, because his push was very important. Like, once we knew at home that there is someone there who we can get some guidance and some advice from, that really helped me on my journey quite a fair bit. And his advice at that time wasn't too specific or too detailed, just enough to say, start writing. Things will follow.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. I've been talking to a lot of drivers, and most of the times they tell me that there's no money, and that's why it's kind of struggling.
Yeah.
But someone new who has been working in the sports business, I would like to understand why is India struggling to be on a global stage?
Well, quite simply, not enough people are watching.
Like, we are a population of more than 1 billion.
Yeah.
We deserve to be in the Olympics.
Yeah, didn't Formula One say in their official figures that 60 million people are fans of F1 in India?
Yeah. So
Show up,
Yeah.
watch the races, go to the screenings, buy merchandise, engage with the social media posts, which they are doing, by the way. The recent Formula One report said that Indians are one of the most actively engaged communities of Formula One followers on social media. So India, if you are engaging with Formula One on social media, go to a screening, watch the broadcast, engage with more creators like us, make sure that you support Formula One, make other people fans, so that Formula One can look at this and be like, I can't not go to this country. That's essentially the situation we need to create here.
So as a part of your job, you obviously have interviewed a lot of interesting people, met a lot of cool people, gone to a cool place, gone to a lot of cool places. What are like some of the best things you've done and you're like, oh my God, I made myself proud today?
Well, I usually don't feel that immediately because the high of it and the adrenaline of it is so much that you don't quite realize what you've done until you see the clips again. But yeah, the one moment where I really felt it was when we spoke to Ravi Shastri for the first time. So, common stuff, Ravi's at a Formula One race. We, as the Inside Line F1 podcast, get the opportunity to interview him. I'm there nice and early, 30 minutes in advance, checking my stuff out, setup is good, questions are ready, tech is all sorted. Okay, I can zone out for a bit so that I'm in the zone. I zone out, I've shut my eyes for a second, and randomly, in the middle of it all, I hear, "Hi, what's happening?" I'm like, this guy's here. And my headphone was on 17% volume. Ravi's voice burst through. You could hear it from the other side of my room, in spite of me wearing headphones. The guy has such energy. Unbelievable. So chill. So chill. But the first time you speak to Ravi Shastri, you turn the volume down. You're like, okay, I need to adjust my volume levels because my ears will not be able to be used to this. But then you get used to his energy. And it's contagious. You just don't want the chat to stop. We were shameless both times. We pushed beyond the time limit we were allocated because we were like, अगर रवि शास्त्री से बात कर रहे हैं तो और बात करनी है छोड़ने के we will not stop until he tells us he has to go. So open to answering questions. He is not someone who will only stick to the script and be like, if I've committed this much to you, I'll only give this much. He'll be human. Very rare to find people like that in the world of sports broadcasting and just PR interviews and all that sort of line. Like people care a lot about their perception and what they've committed or how much time they've allocated, but Ravi is genuinely one of those big-hearted people who will enjoy the conversation while he's there. Helmut Marko was an experience. Kunal has great relations with Helmut, so I've been very grateful that I get to speak to Helmut through him. And Helmut's always so open. But Franz Tost stands out a lot. So my first Formula One race was a race where I saw Franz Tost's car win. Monza 2008. Seb's win. The first win. The first time any Red Bull car won. Red Bull Racing, in fact, did not win a race before Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso won a race before Red Bull Racing. That was my first race. And I got to speak to the man who engineered all of that, Franz Tost. And to hear him speak and to hear him convey how he thinks about Formula One and to hear that it's actually very similar to how we think about it was such a great moment of recognition that he's saying the same things that we've grown up listening to. And he's acknowledging it. And like he told us about the 5 stages of awareness of a racing driver. And that point sticks out. Number 1, the driver will not be very aware of the car. Number 2, they'll start to notice how the car feels. Number 3 will be tires. Number 4 might be aero. Number 5 is once you've been in sync with all of it, you start to be aware of the surroundings around you, which is the level unlocked by Max, Fernando Alonso, Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Michael Schumacher. These sort of greats have that 5th level of awareness that Franz Tost was talking about. And then when he articulated it that way, you're like, this makes sense. Yeah, because he's the person who's groomed Seb. He's the person who has groomed Max in a way. He was part of Max's team. Carlos Sainz went through him as well. So did Yuki Tsunoda. So did Brendan Hartley, who's a great driver, underrated criminally. And the list can go on and on and on and on. But to see him talk about drivers' awarenesses, and then it just becomes so simple for you that, oh, these are the levels that a racing driver goes through. Amazing.
But for the last segment, if there was one race that you could commentate on today, which one would it be?
Oh, Singapore 2010. What a fun race.
Let's do it.
We should do that.
Yeah.
We should do
I am
that.
very excited to watch you.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. For once, I'll feel kind of naked because I don't have 10 screens in front of me. But we can still give it a try.
Let's do it.
सिंगापुर के चांदनी रात में चमकेंगे आज फॉर्मूला 1 के सबसे बड़े सितारे जेनसन बटन, लुइस हैमिल्टन, सेबेस्टियन वेटल, मार्क वेबर और पोल पोजीशन पर है फरारी के फर्नांडो अलोंसो, एक ऐसे ड्राइवर जिन्हें ये सर्किट पे रेस जीतना आता है। ये है द सिंगटेल सिंगापुर ग्रांड प्री 2010 की और आज फरारी है पोल पोजीशन पर। कल के क्वालिफाइंग में सेबेस्टियन वेटल के पास पोल लेने का मौका जरूर था, लेकिन एक छोटी सी गलती के कारण आज वो रहेंगे ग्रिड पे सेकंड। उनके आगे अलोंसो, हैमिल्टन और बटन लॉकआउट करेंगे सेकंड रो, तो ये होगी एक ऑल मैक्लारेन सेकंड रो और उनके पीछे एक कमाल की मिडफील्ड लाइनअप है। मार्क वेबर फिफ्थ में, रूबेंस बैरिकेलो विलियम्स के साथ छठे स्थान पर होंगे, निको रॉसबर्ग मर्सिडीज के लिए P7 और रॉबर्ट कुबित्सा आज P8। The 5 red lights illuminate और सिंगापुर जीपी हो चुकी है शुरू। फर्नांडो अलोंसो की स्टार्ट काफी बढ़िया है, लेकिन वेटल की भी। अलोंसो ने लाइन ब्लॉक ऑफ की है और फरारी टर्न 1 में जाते हुए आगे है। और ये है निक हाइटफील्ड, कर्व के ऊपर राइट करेंगे, फोर्स इंडिया के पास जा चुकी है और टकराव। हाइटफील्ड फोर्स इंडिया के पीछे टकरा चुके हैं। उनकी फॉर्मूला 1 की रिटर्न इतनी खास नहीं नजर आ रही, लगता है एक पंचर हो चुका है साउबर के लिए और पहले ही लैप में उनके लिए इतना सारा ड्रामा। येलो फ्लैग्स आ चुके हैं ट्रैक पर। मार्शल्स ने काफी तेजी से फ्रंट विंग को रिकवर कर लिया है। ये क्या, फिलिपे मासा क्विक पिट स्टॉप, सोचेंगे कि मिड पैक से आगे जा पाए लंबी स्ट्रैटेजी के चलते। मार्क वेबर भी कुछ अलग करना चाहते हैं। इस रेस में 5वें स्थान से शुरुआत की थी, काफी पीछे, लेकिन आगे अगर हम अपनी निगाहें डालें, एक 4-वे बैटल इस रेस विन के लिए। अलोंसो, वेटल, उनके पीछे लुइस हैमिल्टन और जेनसन बटन। स्लिप स्लाइड हो रहे हैं माइकल शूमाकर। वेबर के पास एक मौका है इनसाइड लाइन पर, बड़े आराम से मार्क वेबर ने पोजीशन छीन ली है। क्या सोच रही होगी फरारी की टीम, क्या कुछ अलग करने का मौका आ गया है फर्नांडो अलोंसो के साथ। आधी रेस पूरी हो चुकी है, कभी ना कभी तो उन्हें वो पिट स्टॉप लेने का निर्णय लेना होगा। और लो, रेड बुल भी अंदर आ चुके हैं। सेबेस्टियन वेटल, फर्नांडो अलोंसो दोनों इकट्ठे पिट स्टॉप में। ये पिट स्टॉप निर्णायक होगा, यहां अगर कोई गलती हुई तो रेस तय हो सकती है। फरारी की तरफ से तेज पिट स्टॉप, अलोंसो बाहर निकल गए, लेकिन वेटल ने किया स्टॉल। एक छोटी सी गलती, वेटल की कार स्टॉल हुई और अलोंसो अब तक लीड में बरकरार। ये निर्णायक पल हो सकता है रेस का। फरारी अब तक इस रेस के लीड में और अलोंसो ने पकड़ जमा के रखी है। और यहां कोबायाशी शूमाकर के साथ टकराव। ये कैसे, मुश्किल वक्त साउबर और मर्सिडीज के लिए। काफी गहमा गहमी चल रही है इस रेस में। ओह, कोबायाशी बैरियर में टकरा चुके हैं और ब्रूनो सेना उनके पीछे। क्या वहां येलो फ्लैग्स थे या नहीं? ब्रूनो सेना को कोई अंदाजा नहीं था कि वहां कोबायाशी टकरा चुके हैं और वो उसी बैरियर में अंदर टकरा गए। हताशा तो देखो उनकी। हिस्पैनिया रेसिंग टीम के लिए इतना मुश्किल साल रहा है, एक और रिटायरमेंट इस नई नवेली टीम के लिए। हाँ, लेकिन सिंगापुर एक फॉर्मूला 1 रेस होस्ट करने के लिए सबसे कमाल का शहर, एक नाइट रेस, पूरी दुनिया की निगाहें द ज्यूअल ऑफ साउथ ईस्ट एशिया पर, और उसमें सबकी निगाहें इस बैटल फॉर द लीड में। लुइस हैमिल्टन पीछा कर रहे हैं मार्क वेबर का, जो एक बैक मार्कर को पास करना चाहते हैं। ये एक बढ़िया मौका है, हैमिल्टन का रन कमाल का है, आउटसाइड लाइन पर जाएंगे अपने मैक्लारेन के साथ और लो, ये पोडियम प्लेस अब उनके नाम नहीं। टकराव, हैमिल्टन को बाहर जाना पड़ा है। उम्मीद है कि डैमेज ना हो, लेकिन यहां उनके सारे मेहनत पे पानी फिर चुका है और हैमिल्टन इस रेस के बाहर जा रहे हैं। लुइस हैमिल्टन इस रेस के बाहर जा रहे हैं। एक पोडियम का सुनहरा मौका यही गवा दिया गया है, क्योंकि टकराव हुआ हैमिल्टन और वेबर के बीच। हैमिल्टन के सीजन के लिए ये इतना दुखदायक पल, ये चैंपियनशिप में वापसी करने के लिए अब काफी मुश्किलें होंगी हैमिल्टन को, और वो भी टकराव हुआ चैंपियनशिप राइवल मार्क वेबर के साथ। चलिए नजर डालते हैं कि एग्जैक्टली क्या हुआ। वेबर इनसाइड लाइन पे थे, हैमिल्टन आउटसाइड। वेबर की लाइन कमिटेड थी और उन्हें लगा कि हैमिल्टन इतने आगे नहीं आ पाएंगे। 2 into 1 does not go, रेसिंग इंसिडेंट कहो या कुछ और, बात तो यह है कि हैमिल्टन इस रेस के बाहर। गर्मा गर्मी गैरेज में रेड बुल चाहते हैं कि उनके ड्राइवर्स अब तक वो डबल पोडियम ला पाए, और लग तो यही रहा है कि वो मौका अब तक उनके पास है। खुशी तो देखिए रेड बुल रेसिंग के मैकेनिक्स पर, और हैमिल्टन की शक्ल पर सिर्फ और सिर्फ हताशा। हताशा, निराशा, जो कहना है कहो, लेकिन ये क्या, फिर एक टकराव। माइकल शूमाकर स्पिन अराउंड हो चुके हैं टर्न नंबर 6 में, और यहां मुश्किलें। शूमाकर के पास फ्रंट विंग डैमेज। उनकी पहली सिंगापुर ग्रांड प्री इतनी खास नहीं नजर आ रही। टकराव भरी सिंगापुर ग्रांड प्री, और क्या रॉबर्ट कुबित्सा के पास कोई डैमेज है? क्विक पिट स्टॉप और कुबित्सा वापस ट्रैक पर वापसी कर रहे हैं। कुबित्सा विलियम्स के इनसाइड लाइन पर, कोशिश जरूर है और अपनी जगह बनाई भी है कुबित्सा ने। आगे बढ़ रहे हैं पिट स्टॉप के बाद, फ्रेश टायर्स, गुड ग्रिप, रेसिंग इज ऑन। और एक मूव की कोशिश है ये। ऑन द आउटसाइड लाइन जाएंगे रॉबर्ट कुबित्सा, और आउटसाइड लाइन से मूव पूरा किया है। ये रेनो की ताकत। आखिरी कुछ पल इस सिंगापुर ग्रांड प्री के, काफी ड्रामा हो सकता है, और टकराव होते ही जा रहे हैं। राइकी कोवलाइन की कार टकरा चुकी है। आखिरी कुछ पलों में उम्मीद थी उन्हें कि एक फिनिश ला पाए, और माना उससे पॉइंट्स नहीं मिलते, लेकिन पॉइंट स्टैंडिंग्स में हिस्पैनिया रेसिंग और वर्जिन रेसिंग के खिलाफ काफी बढ़िया पॉइंट्स फिनिश मिल सकती थी। और धुआं निकल रहा है उनकी लोटस से, हाइकी कोवलाइन की लोटस से धुआं निकल रहा है, और अब आग भी। कोवलाइन की लोटस आग, कोवलाइन की लोटस में आग लग चुकी है। कार पार कब करनी पड़ेगी? कोवलाइन को तेजी से भागना पड़ेगा। देयर इज अ कार ऑन फायर एट द मेन स्ट्रेट। क्या ये रेस को सेफ्टी कार इंटरवेंशन से रोका जाएगा? बड़ी तेजी से कोवलाइन ने फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर का तो इस्तेमाल किया है, लेकिन क्या क्रेजी मोमेंट ये। तो अब टर्न 1 की तरफ तो येलो फ्लैग है, लेकिन वेटल अब काफी करीब। ये आखिरी कुछ मौके उनके लिए। अलोंसो काफी डोमिनेंट रहे हैं, लेकिन ये आखिरी मौका जो सफल नहीं होगा। फर्नांडो अलोंसो जीते हैं सिंगापुर की चांदनी रात में एक बढ़िया विन फरारी के लिए, और वो चैंपियनशिप बैटल अब भी जिंदा है। अलोंसो फर्स्ट, वेटल सेकंड, मार्क वेबर थर्ड, डबल पोडियम रेड बुल रेसिंग के लिए। लेकिन एक नोटेबल मिस इस टॉप 10 से। लुइस हैमिल्टन अपने चैंपियनशिप फाइट में एक बहुत बड़ा रिजल्ट गंवा चुके हैं एक क्रैश के कारण, लेकिन मुस्कान तो देखो फर्नांडो अलोंसो की शक्ल पे। ये उनके साल की सबसे बड़ी जीत होगी। और रेस
Mental! Oh my god, I have enjoyed this race because of you, Soumil.
Thank you. Thank you.
Insane!
And I enjoyed it because Fernando was perfect. Not a single mistake that day.
I want
Perfect.
to take a moment talking about you over here. Oh my god, this is the best moment of my day.
Seriously?
Yeah. Loved it. What an experience.
Thank you.
I hope someday I can like come to your
Or
setup.
commentating would be fun for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want to commentate. I just want to watch you.
yeah, I feel odd because I don't have 10 screens.
Okay.
It's still fun. It's
Oh
still
my
fun.
god. Love it. Love it. And I will not torture you by making you talk more.
I love this. No, honestly, it's been such a fun episode. It's always a chill vibe
Yeah.
when you're around in the studio. And now to be your guest for once instead of me interviewing you all the time and asking you all the tough questions. Good fun. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for this, dude. This means the world to me to have a Michael Schumacher poster. Fun episode, huh?
Yeah, fun
Really fun episode.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hope to see you very soon.
Please don't forget, do it.
Do it
Fast.
Thank you, because a lot of people are watching the video and not subscribing. Very
Evil people.
Very
Bad people.
I don't
Cheap
like
people.
it.